To the second episode of Topcast. Today I will be interviewing one of Top Flight's senior flight instructors, Austin Jones. Hi Austin.
G'day Jess, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad.
That's good. So can you just tell me a little bit about how and why you got into flying?
Ooh, okay. Flying started for me probably back when I was a little boy, looking outside, hanging outside, looking up at the sky, and look, there's a plane going overhead. So
dreaming about flying?
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
I got involved with a couple youth organizations that promoted a bit of flying, and just kind of moved on from there. Now I'm here.
Yeah, and then did your training?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did all my training up in Christchurch, where I was originally born. Went through all the commercial training, came down here to Wanaka, started working with Top Flights for the last few years now, and worked out pretty nicely.
Yeah, and now you're one of the senior flight instructors. So can you tell me just a little bit about your role here at Top Flights?
Yeah, so as a senior instructor, I'm one of the senior BCAPs, so I do a lot of flight training, commercial flights, as well as a couple of scenic flights, and then the chief pilot for the Tigermoth here.
Oh, nice. So you mentioned the Tiger, of course. What's flying the Tiger like? What makes it so special?
What makes it special to me is the fact that it's different to anything else that's in our fleet. It's a very old school version of flying there. In order to fly one of these, you got to think like a pilot in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Because the amount of instrumentation, the handling, it's all done completely different to what we teach nowadays.
Yeah. So are there any flight differences? Does it feel different to fly the Tiger to any of the modern aircraft?
Yep. It certainly does.
Yeah.
One of the big features is the fact that there's no roof on it.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
So what you can see is the pilots just sit essentially in the body of the plane there, and they've got a little windscreen. So what you'll find is when you're flying along, you have a lot more sensations going on in terms of feeling the wind. So you feel the airspeed a lot more. There's a lot more noise as well with the wind and the engine. You're hearing a lot more of what's going on. So people can get very disorientated the first time they go for a ride in the Tigermoth, and it kind of takes them a second to look outside and, this looks quite pretty outside.
Of course, no interruptions, just straight view.
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you get to wear the cool jacket and everything? Because it'd be a bit cold up there with no screens.
Yep. It gets pretty cold up there, so although you do look the part, they do serve a very vital function when flying this plane, especially in the middle of winter.
What kind of flying do you do in the Tigermoth?
So the flights that we offer at the Tigermoth at the moment are just some basic scenic flights around Lake Wanaka. We'll do one where we just fly around the border of the lake for a little bit, and then we'll hang around the town and make our way back. We do another one where we do basically the same route, but we add a couple of aerobatic maneuvers in as well.
Yeah, so aerobatics.
Yep.
Tell me a bit about that. What's your history with aerobatics?
So during my training, I got involved with the Air Club side and learned a bit about aerobatics. Thought it'd be a nice thing to know about, just getting more handling for the aircraft, better coordination. Met a few people and started talking about doing some competitions. Got involved with some of those.
Do any good in the competitions?
I didn't do too bad in one or two.
Yeah?
But yeah, it was a good experience just learning some aerobatics in a very basic aircraft. And when it came to flying the Tigermoth and doing the aerobatics in it, I was able to carry over a lot of that knowledge, and it made it much easier for learning how to fly a vintage plane and doing some of those maneuvers.
Do you find that after having done the aerobatics, your handling skills of the aircraft have gotten a lot better, or you trust the plane more or anything like that?
Definitely, yeah.
You know what the aircraft can do now.
Yeah, you definitely build up a lot more confident in what the plane can handle, what it can take, and yeah, you learn a little bit more coordination and handling, and you do notice over time you're a lot more comfortable and it's easier to do certain maneuvers. You don't have to think as much.
Yeah. What's your favourite manoeuvre to do?
Ooh. In the Tiger or
Both.
Both. Okay. Favorite maneuver, not on the Tigermoth, is probably an aileron roll. Nice, simple, easy. You just sit back, and it just feels like the world just spins around you. You don't feel anything else. It's one of the most gentle airback maneuvers you can do. For the Tigermoth, I'd probably say spin is probably one of my favorite in the Tigermoth there, because you just slow her on down because she's not going fast to begin with, and you just feed in a little bit of rudder there, and she just flips over nicely, and you just watch everything just kind of start spinning around. But as soon as you relax your feet and put in a little bit off the rudder there, she recovers very quickly and very responsive. So you're not going to get yourself into strife very easily.
Yeah. What do you think your favourite feature of the Tigermoth would be? What makes it so special to you?
The fact that it's bright yellow.
Gotta love a yellow plane.
Yep, bright yellow. Though I'd say my favourite feature is the fact that it's been restored to its original specifications from 1940, and that basically this is how it rolled off the line.
Yeah.
There's a lot of features on there that you don't see compared to a lot of modern aircraft, such as flaps, brakes, you got windscreens, but canopies and rated instruments and stuff like that. It's all very basic, so it's all flying by feel. So that's probably one of my favorite features about it. Is just it's a very raw aircraft.
Very old. There's a lot of history to it.
Yep, especially for this one in particular.
Yeah. Do you know any of the history of this particular aircraft?
I know a little bit. I know it was built in the UK, Instructor factory in 1941. It was used to train pilots for its first 3 months as just a basic trainer, teaching all the ab initio training, so about the first 25 hours. Then it moved over to a glider squadron and was used to tow gliders and train pilots for the gliders that they used to supply or send supplies over to Normandy during D-Day in 1944.
Wow.
Served with the Royal Air Force till 1956, where it was used as a maintenance training aircraft. So all the engineers would take care of it and learn how to look after an old aircraft like this. Then it was brought over to New Zealand, and we've been operating it since 2008.
Isn't that amazing? A lot of history in one aircraft. Very special to be still in one piece.
Oh, she's been looked after.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you seem to like the old aircraft. Are there any other planes that you'd like to fly that sort of like the Tigermoth? Older planes.
Oh, there's certainly plenty of old planes that I'd like to fly, especially around that 1940s era. That's a huge interest for me in terms of just the type of planes being flown back then.
Yeah.
Planes similar to the Tigermoth, I'd probably say one is the Stearman. So it's kind of the American version of the Tigermoth, being an ab initio trainer. Instead of having a upside down 4-cylinder, it's got a big old radial engine on there, so it sounds a little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit cooler.
Yeah.
But it's still open cockpit design, biplane, and you can do some aerobatics with them as well.
Okay.
So they're very, very fun aircraft.
For someone that hasn't flown a biplane before, how does it feel any different?
It can feel a little bit different if you're not used to anything that's tailwheel. All biplanes at this stage are tailwheel to this day, and what you'll find is that it can obscure your view a little bit. So just getting used to having a high wing or a low wing, but both. So your vision is very restricted to a point. I'm saying that you can look around behind you a lot more easily. So the other thing you have to look out for is wind. Wind plays a big factor on the fact that you have two lifting surfaces, one on the top, one on the bottom. A lot more area for the wind to catch, a lot more bracing in the wires, as you can see, so there's a lot more resistance and drag that can be produced by it. So just got to be mindful when taking off and landing. If there's any crosswind, watch those wings.
Interesting. Nice, awesome. All right, one more question.
Okay.
What is the best part about working at Top Flights?
For me, the best part, flying the Tigermoth, to be honest.
Yeah.
Being one of the senior pilots here, and being the main pilot for the Tigermoth, it kind of feels like my little baby. So
yeah,
it's my own personal plane. I pretty much fly it 100% of the time. So it's the closest thing I'm going to have to owning my own aircraft for a while.
Do you find that when people come in for a Tigermoth flight, they're a lot more excited than just the general scenic flights? Do you think they have a different sort of appreciation for aircraft and aviation?
Certainly, especially when they get out of the plane at the end of the flight. I've not met a single person who didn't have a huge grin on their face when we landed and taxied in and came to a stop and just say, "Hey, how was that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that was absolutely marvelous."
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's another probably favorite part. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for coming and talking to me today, Austin. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time, maybe. Might be in a future episode.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Topcast. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.